Hey Kyle, want to put this video together, like we discussed, kind of documenting some of my findings and, uh, giving you a precursor idea of some of the things that we'll be talking about on Wednesday. So long story short, I found a lot, so I want to touch on 5 things just to give you an idea of where some of the more egregious areas or updates are required kind of on the site. So first off, number one thing was you talked about like branded search. Like, hey, when I pop in like Longtree or somebody's searching for my business in particular, I need to be able to pop up highly in search. The very first thing that jumped out to me is like when you search in Google, like if we come here, Longtree tree service, you have things that are these are called meta titles and meta descriptions. And so what I noticed was that yours are just not super well optimized for either your branded search or your services. It seems like they're kind of utilizing the default metas and titles that come along with Rank Math, which is your SEO plugin that's installed on your website. And these really should be taken a look at, and each one of the pages on your website is going to have a different keyword or search intent that it's trying to address. So like your homepage needs to be optimized for the name of your company, how long you've been in business, and then just generally like see how we can make your trees healthier and your life easier. You're using like a 62 character meta description here. They use the ability to go like closer up to like 120, 130 and fit this here. This is really valuable real estate on your homepage. These titles and descriptions just across the board, there's not a lot of consistency and they're not really optimized for the search intent itself. So like having your meta description on your homepage be more optimized towards the name of your business and a little bit about what you do, and then having the title be optimized for like the same thing would help you to appear the way that you want to when you pop up kind of in branded search. The nice thing is like at least in certain localities, and like right now I'm spoofing my location in Ohio, it does pop up, but there's an opportunity kind of here to fix that. Additionally, like you see kind of the image right here. Hold on, why do I have weird drawing strokes? Pencil brush. You see the image right here. The ability to like kind of optimize your open graph images and make sure that you're providing the right information that fits in the right areas to Google is kind of like your first fundamental baseline optimization. And it doesn't seem to me that this is done with a whole lot of attention or just done super well. Even in the, titles, you see like a mixture of title case versus sentence case, like winter pruning in Michigan. Here you have lowercase. Sure, remove that dead tree. So like it seems that a lot of these are just building off the default inherited descriptions and titles, and this could be certainly improved. So that's kind of number one that I saw, meta titles and descriptions. I also want to talk about, this is a good segue into number 2 on this topic, website structure. So as you mentioned here, you have residential, commercial, utilities, and you have a couple service pages. But if you look here, the only locational entity that you call out is Southfield here, and a couple other areas in your meta. And then if you look on the page, like there aren't a lot of references on the homepage specifically to Southfield as a locational entity, and there's not like individual cities called out or areas that you service. You just talk about it at the county level. So anyone who's optimizing for like individual locational entities in their structure or otherwise is going to outrank you. You see that like this is basically local Falcon. It gives you an idea. If you see a 1 or a 5 or a 20 plus, that it's basically emulating, hey, if I were standing at this particular location and I searched for tree service, where would Longtree pop up? And so you can see like your business performs really well at the hub because you're leveraging proximity to point of search. But it immediately falls off and doesn't rank super well in any of the adjacent areas. And a large reason for this is like the website doesn't possess any reference to these other locational entities. Certainly there are a lot of other tree service competitors, so you're not going to rank like 1 or 2. But the fact that Google doesn't even recognize you as being present here has a lot to do with the fact that you're not optimizing for other locations. So to give you an example, I'm gonna kind of come back to our electrical website a couple times. I know it's not tree service, but it's set up with a great structure, and it's also based in Southfield, so it can give you an idea. You know, when we're looking at services, we have an exhaustive list of all of the services that we offer. And then we have at the bottom here created the most popular search query for us is electrician near me. So we have individual pages for the keyword that we want to rank for in the area that we want to rank in. So here's the route one for Southfield, which obviously matches up to the homepage. But then you have Beverly Hills, you have Farmington, you have West Bloomfield. And if I were to run the map scan, I could show you how this extends kind of. Let's see if I can find an older one that's not even up to date. Let's see. Scan reports. Let's go in. Leopard. Few filters. Leopard. Alright, here's one from July, so this is going to be older. Let's see what we got here. You can see that the proximity of the business extends out a lot more, and even as like our rankings were kind of in progress here, Google recognizes that we do business and serve in all of these other locations. So you don't see like this discrete cliff that gets fallen off of. You see that as locational proximity decreases, so does our rank, but it's more of a gradual fall off. And as we were to get more reviews on our profile or increase the amount of SEO work that we do over time, these results would only get better. Like what I'm showing you here is from July. Another place that you can see this is kind of on the organic ranking side. So if you look, and I punch it in here, you'll see if we go into ranking keywords, ranking number 6 in Sterling Heights, 8 in Ferndale, 10 in Rochester. And this doesn't even talk about like being a part of the map pack. These are organic search results that are ranking. And you can see if you look at the URL, entity, location, entity, location. So the individual location pages not only lend credibility to the Google Business Profile, they inform Google as to where you do service at, and including those entities or different pages beyond just naming them or stating them on your site, especially for like your money keyword that most people are just going to search is going to be like tree service or some variant of that. So having almost the same ones as us is going to help you do business in those areas. So like have a page for tree service Southfield, tree service Beverly Hills, Farmington, West Bloomfield, Birmingham, Berkeley, Sterling Heights, and so on and so forth, is going to not only help you extend your map section proximity, but there's the potential that you would even rank organically, like where your Yelp or Angie or Better Business Bureau would be for those services. And I hate to make this assertion too without knowing specifically because it's a black box to us, but it might even help your local service ads because you're demonstrating to Google, you know, that you also serve in those areas and have presence in those areas on your website and on your Google Business Profile, which is connected to that LSA ad account. So it might even offer you more opportunity there if your website was better optimized for locations. So that's kind of I wanted to talk about entities and structure first. Having pages that reference specific services in specific locations is necessary for helping you rank higher in areas outside of Southfield itself. So That's one big thing that I saw. Number 2, I'm going to go to Longtree Tree Service, and again, I'll compare it to Leopard. Consistency and completeness of the GMB. So, like, you have the ability, like, a customer's asked a question here that has not been answered. If not, is there a tree service that does? Does Longtree offer payment plans? You have the opportunity as the owner or the SEO agency that's managing your profile to come in here and answer these customer questions. That way, when future customers are browsing through here, they know the answer to their top 10, top 20 questions that have been asked. Additionally, you have the ability to come in and ask whatever questions you want as the owner. So you could put those top 10 or 20 questions in here and answer them so that when people are browsing, they'll see that this is filled out. Completeness. If you look at photos, it's good that we have a couple here, but like a lot of them don't show like bad situations of the tree service that's going. And additionally, it's been a year since photos were last loaded, and they've all been loaded by the customers. I recommend taking some photos from your own gallery, like consistently come in here every so often and load new photos in. You're going to want to have like 100, 200 photos here, like a really broad range of evidence documenting the services that you've completed, where you've completed them, etc. The other thing being your business description. Again, here we're talking about around Detroit. That entity is not specific to Southfield or the surrounding areas in Oakland County or even like Macomb where you're going to service. So you want to have the services that you do built in here. You want to have the locations that you service kind of listed out in a specific manner. So filling that out, completing that is super important. 3, you have the ability to use Google like Facebook. You can post updates here, and you want to do one like once a week, once a month with a photo and a caption to consistently show Google like, hey, I'm managing my Google business profile and I'm participating. And doing those things, filling this out completely in that manner is going to show Google like, hey, not only am I getting a consistent volume of reviews over time, but I'm continuing to post on my profile, add new photos, and provide updates. And then the last one, since I can't see the services and how they're set up on the business, the last thing that I really want to point out is the fact that the product cards that you are not being utilized here. So you have the potential to come into your Google Business Profile and set up product cards. So again, we'll come back to Leopard again. You have these products that are set up here, and it's just showing electrician in the location, electrician in this location, this location, this location. And you can see we've even used a generic image. We don't even have individual images that we've uploaded for all the individual services yet. And then you have electrical services, and then you have other services here. But the main primary money keyword that we want to rank for, we've set up individual location pages for electrician in all of these areas. And then we hook each of those pages to the specific pages on the website here to give Google context and clarity about what we do and where we do it. And so on Longtree, even just at a services we offer level, those product cards haven't been set up or linked to those individual pages on your website. So going in and filling out your GMB completely and then consistently updating your GMB or adding to it is key for SEO, for ranking from an SEO standpoint. Number 3, and this is kind of a double whammy. It doesn't just have to do with SEO, but Google's in the business ultimately of helping people find what they're looking for, right? And so if I go to a website and I search for, if I go to Google and I search for tree service, and I click on your website and I leave immediately, then Google reads into that as that person didn't find value in the website or they didn't find what they're looking for, especially if they track that person's behavior and they immediately click to the second or third or fourth result. So the way that your website is optimized for the user experience and their intent and what they're looking for matters from an SEO standpoint too, because Google is measuring how often do people click, how long do they stay, and it's using and interpreting those results to help determine what websites it should reward with higher rankings and what websites it should shuffle down and reward with lower rankings. So we talk about conversion rate optimization or user experience as part of having a healthy website optimized for SEO is also optimizing it for user experience. So a few things that jump out to me immediately. The road to healthier trees begins here. Michigan soil, Michigan people, Michigan's tree service. See how it can make your trees healthier and your life easier. Other than your life easier, it's my opinion that this is not what your customers are ultimately looking for. They're looking for quality, proof that you can do what you say you do. They're looking for affordability in the service, and they're looking for a quick response time because they have like an active problem that they're looking to have solved right now 9 times out of 10. So a good format to think about for your website is you have 5 to 10 seconds to address the why. Like, why does your business even exist? Sell the person. Then you want to move to how. How are you going to deliver on the promise of your why that you've made? And then finally after that, only after that is kind of when you go to the what. So an example of this would be like Southeast Michigan's highest quality tree service, or most affordable, or fastest response time. Give us a call today and we'll be out in a matter of hours. Like, how do you appeal to the direct users? How do you appeal to the users' kind of search intent? Why did they land on the homepage in the first place? The next thing goes to the how. Like, the idea behind a website is you can think of it as your online salesperson. He's designed to sit here and give a pitch when you can't, during the hours that you can't. So how do I know if you make a claim that you're the best tree service in Southeast Michigan, quality, affordability, and speed, you don't have to choose? Say that's the assertion that you make. Well, how do I know that that's true? Well, that's where your kind of social proof or credibility pieces come in here. So I like how the idea of using this best of Southfield Longtree Tree Service 2022. The problem with this badge is it's a little bit difficult to read just based on how they've designed it and the fonts that are used here, and it's only one form of social proof. And so then the immediate problem becomes like, okay, we have 0+ happy customers, 0 trees serviced each day, 0 stories climbed, and 0+ types of trees serviced. Some of these things people don't care about. Like, I would eliminate the types of trees serviced that might be interesting. But it's like, these need to be actual, accurate, reflective numbers in order to convince me that you can deliver on the promise that you're making here. This to me just screams, hey, we haven't managed our website or updated it in a really long time, and we also used a template when we built this out and we didn't have these values, so we didn't fill them in. And that's what your users are thinking too when they land on the site. They're like, well, this tree service is local and they have 143 5-star Google reviews or 118 5-star Google reviews. No one's ever had a bad experience with them. Wow. This is a website I really want to check out. I have some questions I want answered. I wonder if they're available. And then boom, you hit people with their lack of social proof, and you're talking about things that they don't honestly necessarily care about. They just want to restore their home. They just want to get their problem solved quickly. Yeah, they want their trees to be healthy and not fall down, but it's not, it's not necessarily about that for the client. As we scroll down, it gets better. I like the fact that you have individual tree service pages, so you immediately tell people what you do. You're creating a broad depth of all the services that you potentially offer. But then, like, common causes of fatalities, this is not presented in a way like you talk about Gestalt principles. My eye immediately goes here, and this is what comes up to me. So the message is like, let us help hire a professional to get the job done right. Don't create risk or liability for yourself. So you're kind of like stoking a little bit of like fear porn, but the problem is that you read it in a weird order. So your eye goes here, and then it comes to the traditional black text, and let us fix your tree doesn't have to do with the benefit of it won't cost you an arm or a leg. And then it kind of goes to here. So just mapping out like, hey, if I were to close my eyes and look at it, where does your eyes go immediately? And does this tell like a cohesive message about like the benefits of why they would want to choose you? I love the elements that are on the site. Like talking about your process is key. Reach out might be like, hey, create the opportunity for them to click the button to reach out. Invite us out would be kind of like schedule it. Create some more context around this. Like you can write a short sentence to expound on this. Send the quote, maybe some promises around like, hey, how quickly is that quote going to be delivered? Or send the quote creates an undescripted amount of time. So like, are you going to be able to provide me with a quote on site? Are you not going to? How long is it going to take? It creates more unanswered questions and diminishes the trust for the customer. And then finally you move to like, book it. All right. Is this talking about like my scheduled quotation? Or people are really dumb sometimes. Like you have to really spell it out for them and make it very clear and apparent. These people are 1 out of 10. They might have never ever hired a tree service before. So they just want to be comfortable and informed in the process of what's going to happen before they're willing to reveal themselves as a lead and trade their contact information to you. Again, social proof, that these things are just going to hurt you a lot. I love the fact that you have all these great Google and Facebook reviews. It would be way better if these were moved further up on the page, along with maybe some video testimonials of past customers that you could lock in like right here. A lot of times, if you look at some of the portfolio of sites that we've done, we can come in and like we'll incorporate the trust badges like right up here on top. It's something that we do quite often. NRCA member, Better Business Bureau. You see 4.9 Google rating, 5 stars on Facebook, and A+ with the Better Business Bureau. So we very much, Fitzpatrick doesn't do it, Newer Business, I think Bloomfield Wellness Clinic has it. Yep, again, Google, Facebook, Yelp. So it's like, where are your credibility or trust points that you can advertise to the customer? You have 118 5-star Google reviews. Or satisfied customers. Like, are you next? You can even throw out like a Barnum statement, right? But there's just like a lot better ways here to optimize for the customer experience. I won't hammer it exhaustively, but I think that's a good place to leave it on conversion rate optimization. Next is I want to go to links. So we talk about off-page authority. If everything was the exact same on a website, so if I like copied your website and I just picked a different domain and I copied your Google Business Profile, then how would Google determine, since those things are free and anyone can create them, which particular business has more authority, mine or yours? That comes down to off-page factor that we as SEOs often call them backlinks. And you can think of them as just like, how dense is your spider web of other websites on the internet referencing to your website? And a key to achieving kind of an upward trend of like continuing to rank better and better and better. So you could see Leopard Electrics right here since we started it in January. This has been the progression of keyword growth. That's going to map directly to the number of entities that are linking to our site. So referring domains just refers to other websites on the internet that are linking back to Leopard. And it's not as much about the quantity of total links, but the number of unique and relevant and local entities that are linking out to your site. So you see from last year, January, when we kind of launched this right around this time frame, we've been able to build this up through our consistent SEO efforts to around 141 referring domains. If we go and look at Longtree, we're at 40, and it's actually like kind of losing momentum. So we had, if we look at it all time, there was a time, like a long time ago, where we actually had more referring domains to the site. This is probably a service like Yext or Birdeye that got pulled. So all those directories got pulled back, or maybe somebody did some spam fighting. But the velocity of referring domains to the site is super, super low. And then if we actually look at the sites that are linking, it looks like we've built some of our links on directories here, but there are plenty of other sites that could link out to yours, listing through something like Whitespark, like Foursquare and Yelp and Angie and Houzz. And if you look at a service like Bright Local, and let me log in and show you kind of the citation builder. Showing you all the secrets now. So if we come in here and you look, very simply, for like a couple $100, you have the ability to capture all of your low-hanging fruit by, let's look at the interiors division for my company in Ohio. You can list on Foursquare, Data Axle, Newstar, Yellow Pages, GPS Network, and then all of these individual sites. So you can see even the important ones, Google, Yelp, Bing, and Apple Business Connect were already taken care of. So they're building these on like Porch.com, Company.com, AILOQ, which is like an AI-based directory site, BuildZoom, Catskill. So like Guild Quality, Link Center, coming to these sites and building these references back to your site that link here to your Google Business Profile landing page is going to help you. Looks like, hold on. Did they do that on some of them? Anyway, issues and just that how that link was listed. But the idea being, you link back all of these directories to your site, and it's like being in 100 or 200 phone books. Like, which business are you going to trust more if you're Google? The business that you can find in 200 phone books, or the business that you can only find in 40, right? And so the idea is that over time, any healthy website generating healthy content, generating buzz and traffic, is going to see an uplift in the number of backlinks. As SEOs, we have the opportunity to go to websites and obtain those links, go to directory listing citation sites and pop those in here and kind of generate that buzz or that interest. Cool. So that covers off page. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on is I wanted to show you, when you develop a website, you should research before you determine, like, what are my pages, what are my structure, how do they need to be laid out, what are people actually searching? So if we go to, this is a really powerful tool. Since Google wants to sell people pay-per-click ads, they'll actually give you all of the information you ever want to know about, like, what people are searching and how much those clicks would cost right within this tool that they call a keyword planner. So I'm going to go just to one of my clients who I know is spending money here. And what you can do with this tool that you can't do with a lot of them is, usually when you look at keywords, you're looking at keywords at a national US-based level. But truly, as a local business, we only care about the search volume or potential market that we can capture on a local basis. So within this tool, you can actually specify geographies. So we can just go Oakland, all of Oakland, and all of Macomb County. And then we can seed the tool with like a couple searches that we would think people who are looking for a service like ours or our business. We can do Longtree, tree service, can do branded keywords. Maybe we do stump grinding. Maybe we do crane, some long tail, assisted, tree removal. And then let's go emergency tree services. And so if I was guessing, these are some of the things that people would search when they're looking for a business like yours. And so what Google's going to do is it's going to take these results and it's going to find a bunch of other keywords that are related to these ones. And you can even add the suggestions that it has here. Tree removal company. Boom. So now Google has found in Oakland and Macomb County 3,113 keyword ideas related to these searches. Now, a lot of these are going to have really low volume. Like 10 is basically the minimum that would be that Google would be reporting on a month. There's plenty of other searches that people perform that are related to these, or not quite these exactly, that we might not be seeing here. But generally speaking, if you want to optimize your website from an SEO standpoint, what keywords do you want to optimize it for? Well, I want to optimize it for the ones that people are actually searching. So what we'll do is we can search by average monthly searches, and we can see, like, see how all of these have the same cost value and same top of page bid. So if you're doing Google pay-per-click, you're going to be spending somewhere between $5.76 on the low end, $26.91 on the high end per click. If I were to use my experience, if you set it up with a good quality score and a quality website, you're going to pay $8 to $9 per click to your website. Google's looking at these keywords, tree service, tree care services, tree maintenance, and tree contractors as being equivalent. They have equivalent search intent. So people who are looking for one of these queries are looking for a tree service contractor. And this is 1,300 searches a month. So when you set up the pages or locational pages, or you're optimizing for SEO, yeah, I can get you to page 1 for tree felling prices, but it lacks the intent and it lacks the volume to really drive a meaningful impact for your business. You can see that in the fact that people are willing to spend a lot less money on that keyword as well. So if you're optimizing your site and you want to dominate and you want to win, focus on the keywords that matter the most to you, right? Like you saw that we had added pages for electrician in every one of our specific areas. You should have tree service or some variant of this optimized one page on your website for all those same areas that we talked about. Number 2, okay, if I want to build out another 20 pages for the services that I do in specific locations, let's do stump grinding. Even though it's like low cost here, it's high transactional volume, and on a monthly basis you're going to see a lot of searches here. That's going to spill into more views, that's going to spill into more momentum, more branded search, more referrals. So like if you were looking at your top 5 money keywords, you probably see tree service, stump grinding, maybe tree removal or trimming, pruning, and then you would go continuing down this list. Again, something about tree removal, tree trimming. Keep going. Tree cutting. So like, honestly, you don't even need 5. You could get away with 3 money keywords. Like if you're optimizing for tree care, tree maintenance, tree removal, stump grinding, and tree trimming, you're good. And then somewhere in this you would have something about, I know you mentioned insurance work pays so much more. Tree insurance assistance, tree emergency services. Let's see if we can get something popped up here. So you could have like tree emergency services, emergency tree removal. You could optimize for something like this too. Even though it has lower volume, you know that these searches are going to spike absolutely every time that you get a storm. So if we map this out, if you download this information, you can actually see these searches on a month-by-month basis. But like June, July in Southfield, we probably saw a much higher volume of search on these keywords. And so optimizing for these when nobody else is paying attention to them, like competition value indexed here 24 out of 100, is going to allow you to capture a lot of business during those really strong surge periods. So yeah, this ended up being a longer video anyway. Hopefully there's a lot of good information in here for you. Looking forward to talking on Wednesday. And again, thanks for the opportunity, and I'm really excited to help you out with some of this stuff and to be working with you. Thanks, Kyle.